Welcome to Under Baobab Skies. The night settles softly over the dense forests of Gabon. A delicate hush lies upon the canopy, where leaves murmur in the wind and the distant cry of nocturnal creatures drifts through the dark. Stars glimmer faintly above, peeking through mist and branches, as if watching centuries of Fang tradition unfold beneath them. Here, the forest is not merely a place, it is a witness, a guardian of memory, and a keeper of spirits. Beneath this starlit sky, the old mask maker of the Fang tribe prepares for another day. His hands, weathered and calloused, carry the knowledge of generations. The scent of camwood dust lingers on his skin and clothing, a tangible trace of the sacred craft that has defined his life. Every line on his face tells a story of labor, devotion, and the invisible threads that connect him to ancestors whose voices still hum in the rhythm of his motions. The mask maker moves quietly, as if aware that even the slightest misstep might disturb the delicate harmony between creation and spirit. In the dim firelight beside his workshop, he arranges small bowls of offerings, palm wine, crushed leaves, and a pinch of earth from the forest floor. These are not mere gestures. They are invitations to the ancestors, calling them to witness, guide, and bless the work about to begin. Let's pause for a moment. The fire crackles gently as the night exhales, its warmth blending with the cool, damp air. The old man steps toward the forest, where camwood and iroko trees rise like sentinels. His eyes trace the contours of each trunk, feeling the subtle pulse of life within. He chooses with care, sensing the spirit of the tree and the memory it holds. Only those trees whose essence aligns with the purpose of the mask may offer themselves. A small libation is poured at the base of the chosen camwood. Whispered prayers following, asking for permission, for guidance, for protection. The forest responds in silence, and in that quiet, he finds affirmation. The mask maker recalls the lessons of his youth, apprenticing under his father, learning that creation is as much listening as it is shaping. He remembers the first time he held a camwood blank, feeling the energy of generations humming beneath his fingers. Today, he continues that lineage, maintaining a sacred balance between life in the forest and the human impulse to honor, transform, and preserve. With the first light of dawn, shadows retreat, revealing the texture of the forest floor leaves, roots, and fallen branches layered like the pages of memory. He selects his tools carefully, chisels, adzes, knives sharpened by years of devotion. Each instrument is more than metal. It is an extension of his intent, a bridge between the living world and the unseen realm of spirits. As he settles beside the camwood blank, he inhales the earthy fragrance of resin, sap, and timber. The first cut is never rushed. The wood yields softly under his hand, fibers whispering like voices of those who carved before him. Shavings fall gently, forming delicate spirals on the forest floor, each a subtle echo of tradition. Let's pause for a moment. The forest seems to hold its breath, every leaf and branch attentive to the work unfolding in its midst. In this quiet, the mask maker feels the weight and gift of responsibility. Each mask he creates is not merely an object, but a vessel, a container of memory, a channel of spirit, a bridge connecting ancestors, present community, and generations yet to come. His labor preserves not only the form of the Fang people's art, but the pulse of their collective identity. As the sun rises higher, the soft warmth illuminates his workspace. Camwood curls shimmer like golden ribbons, capturing light and shadow in intricate patterns. Birds stir, their songs punctuating the rhythm of creation. Each movement of the mask maker's hands reverberates through the forest, a quiet hymn to life, labor, and legacy. Tonight and every day, his work is both a prayer and a performance. It demands patience, focus, and reverence, reminding all who witness it even from afar that creation is never separate from the world that births it. The masked spirit begins to stir in the quiet of dawn, unseen yet deeply felt, awaiting the touch of masterful hands to bring form to essence. The forest exhales, and he exhales with it, ready to begin. The day stretches ahead, filled with the soft cadence of labor, ritual, and meditation, each moment a step in the sacred dance between life, spirit, and art. Thank you for joining us on this journey into the heart of Fang tradition. If this story moved you, please consider liking this video and subscribing. For more stories that connect us to the world's rich cultural tapestry, we'll see you next time. You are now under baobab skies, and the story begins now. Deep in the heart of Gabon, where the forest awakens in a veil of mist, a sacred tradition unfolds. Long before the first rays of sun pierce the dense canopy, a Fang mask maker begins a journey that bridges the world of the living with the realm of spirits. Today, we're invited to witness the first, most crucial steps of this ancient art. We'll see how he chooses the sacred wood at dawn, offers libations to the ancestors, and makes the very first cut, beginning a dialogue with the timber that will soon hold a powerful new identity. This is where the magic begins. The forest floor is cool and damp beneath the mask maker's bare feet. He moves without a sound, his steps a deliberate conversation with the earth. Mist curls around ancient camwood and iroko trees, their roots thick with the memories of generations. He isn't just walking, he's listening. Every rustle of a leaf, every shift in the air, is a message from the spirits who dwell here. He's searching for a specific tree, one that has called to him in his meditations, a tree whose spirit is ready to be transformed. In the dim light of dawn, he approaches a cluster of trees. He doesn't look with his eyes alone. Closing them, he runs a hand along the rough bark of a camwood, feeling for a vibration, a pulse of energy that tells him this is the one. Some trees feel quiet, their spirits content to remain as they are. Others seem to hum with a gentle power, offering themselves for the sacred task ahead. He honors each one, understanding that this is a partnership, not a taking. He must wait for the tree to grant its permission. In his hands, he carries small gourds filled with palm wine, crushed leaves, and a handful of forest soil. These are not mere ingredients. They are offerings, libations, to honor the forest spirits and invite the ancestors to watch over his work. He kneels at the base of the chosen tree, a magnificent camwood that seems to vibrate with life. He gently sprinkles the wine in a circle around its base and presses a bit of earth back into the soil from which it came. His voice is a low whisper, carrying prayers taught to him by his father and his father's father before him. He calls to the ancestors, asking for their guidance, their steady hands, and their blessing. The ritual is slow and rhythmic, a dance of respect between man and nature. He knows that no cut can be made, not a single piece of bark disturbed, until the forest has given its consent. He pauses, his head bowed, listening for the response, a subtle change in the wind's direction. The sudden song of a bird, a gentle sway of the branches above. It's a language without words, but for the mask maker, the approval is unmistakable. Once the offering is complete and permission has been granted, he selects the piece of wood. It feels heavy in his hands, dense with both its own history and its future potential. He studies its grain, its knots, its unique character, already visualizing the face that lies dormant within. This block of camwood is not yet a mask. It is a promise, a vessel waiting to be filled, a conduit for ancestral memory. He breathes in the rich scent of the forest damp earth, sweet resin, and decaying leaves, grounding himself for the task to come. As the sun slowly climbs, its golden light filters through the canopy, illuminating dust motes that dance in the air like tiny, benevolent spirits. He carefully positions the wood blank, steadying it between stones and roots on the soft forest floor. Beside it, he lays out his tools, chisels, adzes, and knives, their iron edges sharpened to a keen perfection. These are not just tools of a craftsman. They are sacred instruments, each one holding the legacy of the artisans who wielded them before. They seem to sing with anticipation, ready to translate spirit into form. Before he begins, he pauses one last time. A profound silence settles over the clearing, as if the entire forest is holding its breath, acknowledging the sacred act of creation about to take place. The only sounds are the distant calls of monkeys and the quiet stirring of birds in the branches high above. In this moment, the mask maker feels the immense weight of his lineage. He understands that his hands are not just his own. They are an extension of generations of mask makers, weaving the past into the present, connecting the seen and the unseen into a single, living story. Then he lifts his knife. The polished metal meets the timber, and the first cut is made. The sound is a soft whisper, a gentle sigh as the blade parts the wood fibers. His hands are steady, his eyes calm and focused. He feels the subtle resistance of the wood, and then its surrender. The first delicate shavings curl and fall to the ground, each one a small offering, a prayer made tangible. He works slowly, with immense care, ensuring that every movement is deliberate, every incision a mark of respect for both the material and the spirit it holds. Let's just stay in this moment. The forest seems to breathe in rhythm with him. Shadows dance and shift around the gnarled roots as the sun rises higher. The sound of the blade against the wood is like a quiet hymn, a steady heartbeat marking the passage of sacred time. Here, time itself feels different, suspended. The mask maker's consciousness drifts between past, present, and future. His hands move in gestures taught to him by his ancestors. Yet his mind is completely focused on the here and now, on the sacred duty he is performing. There is no sense of urgency, no rush to finish. The first cuts are the most important. They establish the rhythm of the work, a gentle, unwavering pulse of devotion that will guide the mask into its final form. Each step is precise, tracing the initial contours, feeling the grain beneath his fingertips, and offering a silent word of thanks for every piece of wood that yields to his blade. The mask maker knows that this ritual is more than just carving. It is a thread he is weaving into the very fabric of his community, connecting the young and the old, the living and the departed. The sun continues its ascent, but the quiet reverence of the forest clearing remains. The mask maker moves with the rhythm of his creation, listening to the wood, feeling its suggestions, and adjusting his hands to flow with its natural patterns. Down here, at the roots of the forest, the mask is far from finished, but it is already alive. The spirit within the camwood is stirring, awakening to the touch and intention of the one who is shaping it. With reverence and patience, the work continues. Each cut is a conversation, each shaving a testament to the enduring dialogue between humanity and the unseen world. This is just the first chapter of his day. This sacred communion between man and forest, spirit and wood, legacy and labor. He is now ready to continue, to forge the mask with a discipline and reverence guided by the whispers of ancestors that linger in every leaf, every root and every particle of dust. In the quiet heart of the forest, where the sun's first light filters through the canopy, another ritual begins. Here, amidst the haze of wood smoke, the day's true work is not yet with wood, but with fire and iron. Before me, arranged with a reverence born of generations, lie the tools of my craft: iron chisels, adzes, and knives. Each one is a silent companion, a repository of ancestral memory, their polished edges reflecting the dancing flames of the small forge. I sit cross-legged before the anvil, the earth cool beneath me. The fire, a living entity, flickers and sways, its warmth a familiar presence. It is a partner in this sacred process, a spirit I must coax and understand. I take up a chisel, its weight a comforting anchor in my palm. It feels balanced, an extension of my own hand, yet it carries the touch of those who came before me. The ritual of sharpening is about to commence, a dialogue between metal, stone, and spirit. With a practiced motion, I draw the chisel's edge across the whetstone. Sparks fly, brief, brilliant stars against the dim forest floor. Each stroke is deliberate, a prayerful act. With each pass, I murmur the old songs, the words a bridge to the unseen guardians of this craft. The forest seems to listen, the rustle of leaves a soft accompaniment to the rhythmic scrape of iron on stone. The sound is a song in itself, a testament to patience and precision. The spirits of the fire, the spirits of the forge, are called upon, their presence invited to guide my hands. This is not just about making a tool sharp. It is about awakening its spirit, aligning it with the purpose it is destined to fulfill. The fire demands my attention. I turn to it, fanning the embers with a slow, steady rhythm. The goal is not a raging inferno, but a consistent, glowing heart of orange heat. The air grows thick with the scent of charcoal and camwood dust, an incense that clings to the skin, a perfume of creation. An adze is carefully placed into the glowing coals. I watch as the metal begins to blush, slowly surrendering its hardness to the fire's embrace. It must become malleable enough to accept the hammer's guidance, yet retain its inherent strength. You cannot rush the fire, just as you cannot force a mask to reveal its face. Patience is the first lesson the forge teaches. When the iron glows with the right intensity, I lift it to the anvil. The first strike of the hammer rings out, a clear, resonant note that echoes through the trees. Hammer falls on metal in a steady, practiced rhythm. Each blow is a word, in a percussive conversation, shaping the tool, refining its form. The iron sings its response, a high, clear tone that seems to vibrate through the very ground beneath me. The chisel, already sharpened, seems to resonate in return, its voice now attuned to my intent. I can feel the presence of the ancestors here, their wisdom flowing through me, their eyes watching over this sacred work. They are in the rhythm of the hammer, in the glow of the fire, blessing every motion. As the morning unfolds, I move from one tool to the next. A knife needs its edge honed to a razor's keenness. A chisel requires its bevel to be filed just so. An adze must have its curve perfected. My hands, though calloused from years of this work, move with a surprising gentleness. They trace the lines of the tools, feeling for imperfections, ensuring each one is perfectly suited for the task ahead. It's a slow, almost hypnotic process, a meditation in metal and fire. This is not hurried work. It is a deliberate dance of skill and spirit, where every moment is filled with intention. From time to time, I pause. I reach for a small pouch and sprinkle a few grains of sacred palm powder into the fire. It is an offering, a gesture of respect to the guardians of the forge, an acknowledgement of their part in this creation. The flames flare up for a moment, a bright, dancing reply, as if in acceptance. I whisper a few words, ancient and low, a language understood not by the ear, but by the spirit. It is a private communion between the maker, his tools, and the forces that guide him. This act of sharpening is more than a practical necessity. It is a moral and spiritual obligation. The edge of a tool carries the weight of a lineage. It holds the care of the ancestors and the responsibility for the work it will perform on the sacred wood. To use a dull blade would be an act of dishonor, a betrayal of the trust placed in me by my tradition. But a sharp blade, one that has been prepared in harmony with the spirits, becomes an instrument of devotion, an extension of prayer itself. Between the rhythmic strikes of the hammer, I hum. The melodies are old, passed down through countless generations. They are songs of creation, of patience, of the forest. The low, steady tune weaves itself into the sounds of the forge, becoming one with the hiss of the embers and the chime of the hammer. The fire seems to flicker in time with the melody, and the hammer's beat provides the rhythm. In these moments, time itself feels fluid. The past and the present merge, and the teachings of the elders pulse through my veins, guiding my hands, steadying my heart. When the last tool is shaped and honed, a quiet descends upon the clearing. I hold each one up to the light, inspecting the edges with a critical eye. The adze must be able to shave away wood in clean, smooth curls. The knife must glide through the grain as if it were water. The chisels must split the fibers with precision, without crushing or tearing them. My satisfaction comes not from speed, but from fidelity, from the perfect harmony achieved between my hand, the tool, and the spirit that animates both. The work must be true. By mid-morning, the forge is quiet. The only sound is the gentle hiss of the last tool cooling in a trough of water. The fire has dwindled to a bed of glowing embers. Sweat shines on my brow, and the smoky scent of the forge clings to me like a second skin. The forest, which has been my silent audience, seems to hold its breath in reverence. I pause, lifting my face to the canopy, letting the soft, warm sunlight fall on my shoulders. The fire has done its part. The iron has been tempered. The tools are ready, and the wood awaits its transformation. This interlude is a sacred pause, a moment where all the preparation, all the patience converges. The fire has taught me patience. The iron has taught me precision. The songs have taught me humility. These are lessons that must be absorbed deep within the soul before the first cut can be made. This is the foundation upon which the mask will be built. I gather the sharpened tools and lay them carefully beside the block of camwood I prepared earlier. For a moment, I just look at them. The chisel, the adze, the knife. Each one is now more than just metal. It is imbued with the spirit of the forge and the guidance of the ancestors. The entire morning has been a communion, a conversation with the forces of creation, and the forest has been its witness. Every strike of the hammer, every whispered song, every flicker of flamet, all carries the weight of history, of tradition, and the quiet, watchful presence of generations. I take a deep breath, inhaling the mingled scents of warm earth, camwood, and charcoal. A sense of peace settles over me. In the rhythm of flame and steel, a spiritual balance has been found. The day's first labor is complete. Now, with tools that have been sanctified, sharpened, and made ready, I prepare to begin the carving. It is time for wood and spirit to finally meet. The true story of the mask is about to be told. In the quiet heart of the forest, where the air still holds the faint, sacred scent of the morning's ritual fire, a new creation begins. Here, a mask maker sits, holding a blank of camwood. The wood is warm, fragrant from the early sun, its grain telling a story only his hands can read. He traces the curves and knots, feeling for the spirit that slumbers within. a presence waiting for his touch to bring it to life. Every line, every imperfection is a map to a hidden face, a guide to the divine that waits to be revealed. The forest is his workshop, the earth his floor, and the ancient trees his silent witnesses. He lifts a sharpened adze, its polished blade catching the soft morning light. With a quiet exhale, a breath that is both a prayer and a beginning, he brings it down to the wood. The first shavings curl and fall, whispering as they land on the forest floor. They look like secrets being shared, soft and delicate. Each strike of the adze is deliberate, slow, filled with reverence. This isn't just carving, it's an awakening. He listens to the wood's response, feeling its resistance and its surrender. It's a conversation, a dance between creator and creation, as if the spirit of the tree itself is guiding his hand, showing him the way. Slowly, the first outlines of features begin to emerge. A hint of a forehead, the gentle rise of a nose, the subtle curve of a cheekbone. They are tentative, almost shy, as if the spirit within is testing his intent, his worthiness. He pauses often, his eyes half closed, his lips murmuring a soft invocation to the ancestors who walked this path before him. The sounds of the forest, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of a bird mingle with his quiet chant. Each note, each sound, is an offering, a tribute to the life embedded in this piece of camwood. Honoring the journey from tree to sacred object, now he picks up a smaller, sharper chisel. This tool is for refinement, for peeling away the unnecessary layers to reveal the truth beneath. With each careful cut, the mask begins to take on its own breath, its own rhythm. He hollows out the eyes, and though they are empty spaces, they seem to gleam with an unseen light, a knowing gaze. The mouth is carved into a subtle curve, neither smiling nor frowning, holding a neutral expression that awaits the breath of ceremony to give it its final, powerful meaning. It is a face in transition, caught between the world of wood and the world of spirits, waiting to be fully born. As he works, the mask transforms from a simple piece of wood into something more. It becomes a vessel, a conduit, a mediator between the human world and the divine. Every shaving that falls to the ground is like a fragment of memory being released, a whisper of ancestral presence returning to the earth. He steps back frequently, not to measure his progress in inches or centimeters, but to feel its resonance. Does the mask speak to him? Does it listen to the forest's song? Does it remember the stories of the ones who came before? This is a measurement of the soul, not of the hand. In this sacred clearing, time moves differently. The sun climbs higher in the sky, its rays filtering through the canopy, but the sense of timelessness remains. The rhythmic beat of adze, chisel, and hammer creates a quiet heartbeat that echoes through the undergrowth, a pulse that seems to synchronize with the forest itself. The trees seem to lean in closer, their ancient branches forming a protective circle, attentive to the birth of this sacred form. Each movement is mindful, measured, a meditation in motion. There is no rush, only a deep, abiding focus on the task at hand, a sacred dialogue unfolding in the stillness. He pauses his work to gently touch the surface of the emerging mask. It is smooth in some places, rough in others, a landscape of textures telling the story of its own creation. The wood gives off a soft, resonant sound under the chisel's edge, like a whispered acknowledgement, a sign of its willing participation. He begins to hum a low, ancestral tune, a melody passed down through generations of makers. It's a song of creation, a call to the spirits of his forefathers, asking for their guidance, for their blessing to be channeled through his hands. The mask is still rough, incomplete, yet its essence is undeniably alive. Now, a smaller knife comes into play, its fine blade perfect for the most delicate details. He refines the gentle slope of the brow, the subtle indentation of the temples, the elegant curvature of the cheek. Each movement is incredibly deliberate, slow, and infused with a profound sense of care. A mask like this cannot be forced into existence. It must be coaxed, persuaded, invited into being. Every touch is both physical and spiritual, a continued conversation with the Camwood's memory and the spirits that have chosen to reside within it, shaping both wood and spirit simultaneously. In moments of stillness, he takes a deep breath, inhaling the rich, earthy scents of the forest, the fragrance of the camwood, the lingering smoke from the morning fire, the damp smell of the earth. They all merge with the steady rhythm of his own heartbeat. The mask now clearly hints at its final form, a powerful and mysterious face that is half human, half divine. It is becoming a bridge between the seen and unseen worlds. He can already envision it in ceremony, adorned and alive, witnessing sacred dances and offering guidance to those who look into its hollowed eyes, seeking connection and blessing. The final touches of the morning are applied with subtle, almost imperceptible precision. Tiny, delicate shavings fall like a gentle rain, each one a testament to the maker's patience and unwavering devotion. The mask is not yet finished, but it stands ready for the next stages of its transformation. The application of pigments, the addition of fibers, the blessings of song and fire. Yet, even in this raw state, it commands reverence. Its presence is quiet but undeniably powerful, a living testament to the unbroken lineage of makers and the spirits that continue to guide their hands through time. The forest seems to exhale with him as he leans back, his work for the morning done. Sweat glistens on his brow, but his expression is one of deep serenity and satisfaction. The day's labor has only just begun, but the sacred dialogue between the maker, the mask, and the forest has been opened. The adze and chisel lie ready beside him, resting but still humming with energy, whispering promises of the work yet to unfold. The object before him is no longer just wood. It is an awakened presence, a spirit patiently waiting for the rituals that will draw it fully into the world of the living. In the heart of Gabon, where the sun's first rays pierce the dense forest canopy, a sacred tradition unfolds. Gold light scatters across the forest floor as a mask maker moves through the shadows of ancient trees. He carries a freshly carved mask, wrapped carefully in cloth. It's not yet alive with spirit, but a vessel, humming with quiet potential. He's not just a craftsman. He is a conduit between worlds, preparing to invite an ancestral spirit into the wood he has so carefully shaped. He arrives at a clearing where the elders await. They are the keepers of memory, their faces etched with the wisdom of generations. In their hands, they hold bowls of palm wine, crushed chalk, and sacred herbs. The air itself feels thick with anticipation, scented with incense. It's as if the forest is holding its breath, leaning in to witness the ceremony. Each elder is a living library of ancestral knowledge, their voices, instruments, ready to call forth the spirits from the unseen world. The mask is gently placed upon a woven mat. A hush falls over the clearing, broken only by the low, resonant voice of the eldest. He begins the first song, a melody that has echoed through these forests for centuries. The mask maker kneels, his hands resting lightly on the mask, feeling the song vibrate through the wood. He hums in harmony, a gesture of respect, acknowledging the spirit that will soon inhabit this form. The ritual gestures begin. Palm wine, the lifeblood of the community, is sprinkled in deliberate droplets over the mask. Each drop is a blessing of life, a shield of protection. Then, white chalk is carefully applied along the carved lines, tracing the eyes, the nose, the mouth. This isn't just decoration. It's an act of calling, highlighting the features that will channel ancestral voices and gaze upon the community. The mask maker watches every movement, absorbing the rhythm of invocation. A sacred dance of hands and heart that has guided his people for time immemorial. The elders' voices rise together, a powerful chorus that seems to harmonize with the very heartbeat of the earth. The leaves on the trees tremble, and even the small forest creatures pause, listening to the ancient call. The mask is no longer just carved wood. It's beginning to breathe with possibility. Stirring from its slumber, the mask maker lifts it carefully, circling a ritual fire at the center of the clearing. Sparks leap into the air, catching the sunlight like fleeting stars, and he whispers, thanks to the spirits of fire, wood, and the ancestors who guide his hands. Every movement he makes is a conversation with the unseen. He bows, he dips, he touches the earth, acknowledging the spirits that have called this forest home long before human hands ever learned to carve camwood. The elders respond with subtle nods and quiet hums, an unspoken language understood only by those who walk the path between the physical and the spiritual. The mask begins to feel heavier in his hands, not with physical weight, but with the gravitas of a presence that will soon guide dances, sanctify ceremonies, and uphold the moral compass of the entire community. In this clearing, time seems to stretch and bend. The morning becomes a liminal space, a sacred threshold that is neither past nor future, where wood, spirit, and human intention merge into one. The mask maker listens intently, learning the cadence of invocation, which words awaken the spirit, which gestures show honor, and which moments of silence allow the essence to settle into its new home. He feels a subtle response from the mask, a faint resonance, a slight warmth growing beneath his hands. It's a sign that the connection is being made. The ceremony continues with more offerings. Small palm fronds and feathers, symbols of peace and flight, are laid with reverence upon the mask. The elders chant the names of the great carvers who came before, weaving a tapestry of lineage and memory. They are calling the mask into a dialogue with its own history. The mask maker closes his eyes, feeling the immense weight of the generations before him. The profound responsibility he now carries. He understands that this awakening is not his work alone. It is the ancestors speaking through him, through the wood, through the song. The mask is now partially alive, a bridge between worlds. The mask maker lifts it towards the sky, offering a silent prayer of gratitude and intention to the heavens. It hums with a faint but palpable energy, resonating with the chants and the life of the forest. He bows deeply, once, then twice, a gesture of profound respect, acknowledging that the spirit has accepted the invitation to dwell, for a time, within this wooden form. The most crucial part of the invocation is complete, but the journey of the mask has just begun. A profound silence settles over the clearing as the chants fade away. The elders sit, allowing the sacred energy to permeate the space. The mask maker sits beside his creation, his hands still feeling the echo of its pulse. He imagines the vibrant dances it will witness, the important ceremonies it will sanctify, the wisdom it will impart. This invocation has done more than awaken a spirit. It has reaffirmed the bond between the living and the unseen, between the maker and the ancestor. The forest seems to exhale, a gentle rustling of leaves, a sigh of affirmation that the awakening has been successful. By the time the morning sun is high in the sky, the mask carries a presence far greater than its physical form. Every carved line, every blessed detail, whispers of tradition, faith, and the unbroken chain of continuity. It is no longer just an object of art. It is a sacred being, ready for the next phase of its existence, the dances that will give its spirit a voice and a body to move through the world of the living. The mask maker rises, brushing leaves and dust from his clothes. He knows his hands have just mediated something holy. He is both craftsman and priest, and his work is a hymn of devotion and memory, carved in wood and sung into life. As the sun dips low, casting long, searching shadows through the forest canopy, the very air grows thick with anticipation. A sacred energy begins to gather. In the heart of the Fang village, masks that were awakened in a morning ritual are now carried with profound care to the open square. This is where the dancers wait, their bodies a canvas of white clay and red ochre, adorned with feathers, raffia, and beads that whisper tales of lineage and spirit. The rhythm begins, a low, steady, and deliberate beat from the drums. It's a sound that resonates deep in the chest, a primal pulse. From the edge of the clearing, enveloped by the cool evening shadows, the mask maker watches. He feels Itan energy in the air, a living presence older than memory itself. The dancers bow slightly, a gesture of respect to the forces they are about to channel, then rise as one. Their steps, synchronized with the drums, echo the very heartbeat of their ancestors. This is not just a performance. It is a bridge between worlds. The first mask is lifted. Its powerful features are illuminated by the last golden rays of the sun. The spirit dwelling within responds to the rhythm, tilting and shifting as if it has a life of its own, guiding the dancer who carries it. Every step is a delicate dialogue between the human and the unseen, a careful, intricate balance of control and surrender. The villagers watching feel this presence as a tangible weight, a low hum beneath their feet, a whisper against their skin. The ancestors are here. The dance intensifies. The pounding of feet on the earth syncs perfectly with the accelerating drums. The mask twists and turns, following a choreography dictated not by human design, but by the spirits themselves. The mask maker closes his eyes, fully sensing the profound communion taking place. He knows that each mask possesses a voice, and through the dancer's body, that voice becomes a song, a story, and a moral guide for the entire community. It's a living lesson taught through movement and rhythm. Children, their eyes wide with a mix of fear and wonder, peek from behind the woven walls of the square. They are catching glimpses of the supernatural energy flowing from the masks, a power that is both awe-inspiring and humbling. The elders nod slowly, their expressions ones of deep approval. They recognize the precision of the dancers, the careful reverence in every movement that honors both the living and the departed. Every step, every leap, every tilt of the head carries profound meaning. Judgment, celebration, warning, and guidance, all entwined in one unified, powerful rhythm. The mask maker observes the glistening sweat on the dancers' foreheads, their muscles straining under the weight of the heavy, carved wood. This is more than a physical feat. Each motion is an act of pure devotion, each pause a silent, heartfelt prayer. The forest itself seems to sway with them, its leaves trembling in acknowledgement. The small creatures of the woods, frozen in a state of awe. The Engil and So ceremonies are not merely entertainment. They are living vessels for history, for ethics, and for the invisible governance that holds the community together. For a brief moment, a hush falls over the square. The drumming stops. Then, a single dancer raises a mask toward the darkening sky, spinning slowly, gracefully. The spirit's essence radiates through the mask, and the villagers feel it ripple through the air like a wave. A young apprentice, watching intently, shivers in recognition. This is it, the unseen made manifest, the ancestors walking among them. their presence mediated through the careful, sacred practice of art and rhythm. The mask maker himself steps forward. He places a hand lightly on the wood of the ceremonial mask, whispering a private acknowledgement to the spirit it carries. In response, the dancer's movements shift subtly, now guided by the unseen hand of memory and the clear approval of the ancestors. The ceremony is a marvel of contrasts, both rigorously precise and beautifully fluid. A living language of gestures, beats, and silent, shared understanding that transcends words. As night descends fully, torches are lit around the square. Their flames leap and dance, mirroring the movements of the performers. In the flickering firelight, the masks shimmer, their carved expressions shifting between serene and fierce, revealing new facets of their character. The spirits within are now fully present, their presence undeniable, guiding the choreography with imperceptible nudges and gentle pressures. The audience is enveloped in an almost tangible aura, a quiet, profound reverence that descends like a soft veil over the entire village. Slowly, the dance begins to wind down. The steps become smaller, the gestures more contained, as the spirits gradually, gently retreat. The masks are returned to their sacred resting places, and the dancers bow deeply, acknowledging both the ancestors they honored and the community that witnessed the ceremony. The mask maker watches, his heart steady, knowing that the cycle has been completed. But he also understands that these masks now carry a living history, a fresh layer of experience that will be passed down into the next generation. The square empties slowly, leaving behind a lingering resonance of drumming and whispered chants. The mask maker takes a deep breath, sensing the palpable shift in energy, a deep calm after the storm of movement. A quiet conversation now held in memory and spirit. Every mask, every dance, every song is a thread, intricately connecting the past, the present, and the future, ensuring that the lineage of Fang artistry and spirituality continues, unbroken and strong. And so, the masks rest, their spirits having danced, their presence now woven into the very heart of the community. In the cool night air, the mask maker cleans his tools, his mind already turning to the next day. The next piece of wood, the next carving, the next invocation. He knows that this ritual, repeated endlessly through generations, preserves not only a beautiful art form, but the very moral and spiritual fabric of his people. The drums have stopped. The echoes of their deep, steady beats linger only as faint vibrations in the soil beneath the Fang village square. Shadows now stretch long and thin across the earth as the last torches gutter and flare, casting dancing patterns on the walls of mud huts. A profound hush settles over the village, not just an absence of sound, but a silence that carries the weight of spirits having walked among the living. The masked dancers, their bodies weary from the intense energy of the ceremony, but their spirits serene, move in a slow, reverent procession. They are returning the ceremonial masks to their sacred places. Each mask is cradled in strong arms, held with the same care one would give a sleeping ancestor. The cloth wrappings, the vibrant feathers, and the rustling raffia that adorned them during the Engil and So ceremonies are folded with meticulous care. Every layer is a gesture of honor, and each step is a silent prayer for the spirit's safe journey back to their realm. The mask maker follows quietly behind the procession. The dust of the forest and the ash from the ceremonial fire cling to his sandals. His hands, calloused from years of carving, yet gentle in their touch, brush against each mask as it passes. He whispers words of thanks to the unseen spirits that inhabit the carved wood, a private acknowledgement of their powerful presence. The air has grown cool, carrying the rich scent of smoke, damp earth. and Camwood, the very essence of creation, ritual, and devotion, all intertwined. Inside the central hut, the masks are returned to their resting places. Some are placed on specially prepared wooden racks, while others are hidden away in earthen niches, their placement determined by their sacred duty. A few will rest only until the next festival calls them forth. Others will sleep for much longer, destined to be retired permanently or even interred in a final, ritual burial. Each placement is deliberate, guided by the mask maker's deep knowledge of lineage, purpose, and the unique spiritual presence of each creation. The community watches on in quiet respect, understanding that these masks are far more than objects. They are living witnesses, repositories of morality, history, and the collective memory of their ancestry. As the last mask settles into its place, a sense of closure descends. The mask maker now turns to his own small, but equally sacred, ritual, cleaning his tools. His iron chisels, adzes, and specialized knives are carefully wiped free of wood dust and sticky sap. He oils them, preserving the metal, and lays them out in perfect order. This simple act is a profound one. It honors the immense labor and patience invested in his craft, and it ensures that the next day's creation will be guided by tools that have been maintained with reverence. Each motion is slow, deliberate, and reflective, a quiet mirror of the powerful, rhythmic dance the village had just witnessed. Sitting nearby, the mask maker's apprentice watches in complete silence. He is learning a lesson that words alone could never convey. He sees how the master treats the masks after their duty is done, how he cares for the tools that gave them form, and how he honors the sacred space they inhabit. In these quiet moments, the apprentice absorbs the core tenets of his future role. A deep respect for the unseen world, a profound gratitude for the labor of his own hands, and a powerful humility before the act of creation itself. Outside, the entire village seems to exhale with the setting sun. Fireflies begin to blink lazily in the twilight, and the great forest beyond the clearing seems to lean in closer, as if listening to the village's collective sigh. The children, who earlier were hiding behind walls and trees to catch glimpses of the fearsome, dancing spirits, now whisper stories to one another in hushed tones. They carry fragments of the evening's power in their young hearts, seeds of tradition planted for the future. The elders nod slowly, their faces etched with wisdom. They understand that these moments are what anchor the community's spiritual and cultural memory, linking the living to their ancestors in a bond that will endure across generations. The mask maker finally sits, leaning his back against the smooth, cool timber of his workshop. He gazes out at the dark wall of the forest, now a silhouette against the dimming sky. The night is alive with the gentle chorus of nocturnal insects, the soft rustle of leaves in the breeze, and the occasional, distant call of an owl. He breathes in deeply, savoring the profound quiet that always follows such intense spiritual engagement. In this silence, he can still feel the spirit's presence lingering, a subtle, benevolent energy that seems to fill the space between the stars above and the earth below. In this stillness, the master reflects on the cycle he has just completed. It began with the careful choosing of wood from the sacred forest, followed by the patient, inspired carving that revealed the mask's face. Then came the awakening of the mask with ritual, the powerful dance that brought its spirit to life, and now its return to a peaceful rest. Each step is a part of a continuous, unbroken thread of life, memory, and spirit. The masks have fulfilled their purpose. The community has been reminded of the delicate balance between the visible and invisible worlds, between the skill of human hands and the wisdom of ancestral guidance. Even as the village sleeps, The masks lie in shadowed quietude. They keep their secrets, their lessons, and their silent prayers locked within the grain of the wood. The forest, too, seems to settle around them. A silent guardian acknowledging that the ritual has ended, but its echoes will live on. They will resonate in the stories told by the fire, in the dreams of the sleepers, and in the steady, familiar rhythm of future ceremonies yet to come. The mask maker closes his eyes, letting the peace of the evening wash over him. He whispers a final, heartfelt thanks to the forest for its gifts, to the ancestors for their guidance, and to the camwood that has given life to wood, spirit, and story. His hands, stained with sap and ash, rest on his knees. They are still strong, still steady, still faithful to the sacred rhythm of creation. And so, in the quiet after the drums, the village breathes as one secure in the knowledge that the ancestors have danced and returned. The masks are at peace, and the timeless craft of the Fang mask maker continues resilient and reverent under the starlit canopy of Gabon. As the first light of dawn paints the sky in shades of gold and rose, it filters through the dense canopy of the Gabonese rainforest. Below, narrow paths wind their way from the heart of a Fang village towards the bustling life of the nearest market town. This is the path our mask maker walks. On his shoulder, he carries his precious cargo, sacred masks, each one carefully wrapped in cloth, adorned with subtle patterns, a quiet signal of their spiritual importance. He moves with a deliberate, measured pace. This is more than a simple trip to market. It is a pilgrimage. With every step, he feels the presence of the spirits, silent companions in the early morning mist. The forest is waking up around him. A rooster crows in the distance, leaves rustle with the movement of unseen creatures, and the faint creaking of baskets being loaded for the day's trade echoes through the trees. Each footfall on the rich, red earth seems to beat in time with the ancient rhythm of life and ritual, forever intertwined. He finds a small, shaded clearing and pauses for a moment. The sun warms his back as he murmurs a quiet prayer, a whisper of gratitude to his ancestors, asking for a safe journey and a successful day. He is not just a craftsman. He is a guardian of tradition, a bridge between the physical and the spiritual worlds. As he continues his journey, the familiar sounds of his village fade, replaced by a new hum of activity. The outer lanes of the market are already alive with the energy of commerce. The air is filled with the calls of traders, the clatter of goods being unpacked, and the general clamor of a community coming together. The ground is a vibrant mosaic of clay pots, hand-woven mats, and bundles of dried cassava, their colors brilliant under the rising sun. The mask maker navigates the growing crowd, heading for a familiar stall. This isn't just any spot in the market. It's a place reserved for a more sacred kind of exchange. Here, he is known not just for the skill in his hands, but for the lineage he represents. The ancestral will he helps to mediate. He gently unwraps his masks, arranging them with care so that each one can be seen and appreciated for the powerful object it is. Soon, people begin to approach his stall. Fellow artisans, curious buyers, and respected elders draw near. Their expressions a mixture of curiosity and deep reverence. They understand that these are not mere decorations. To acquire one of these masks is to invite the blessings of the ancestors into one's home. The transaction itself is a ritual, an acknowledgement of the spiritual power held within the carved wood. The mask maker moves through the throng, embodying the delicate balance between the necessity of survival and the devotion to his sacred duty. He barters a masterfully carved mask, its features imbued with ancestral wisdom, for essentials like salt, a mineral that preserves both food and life itself. Another mask is traded for bolts of cloth, dyed in the traditional hues of indigo and ochre, their patterns telling stories of their own. A third finds its way to a farmer's family in exchange for millet, the grain that forms the foundation of village meals. Each trade is a quiet ceremony. There are no loud negotiations, only subtle gestures of profound respect. A nod of the head, a slight bow. The careful unfolding of a patterned cloth, and soft words of thanks that honor both the human and the spiritual realms at once. The market is not just a place of commerce. It is a living, breathing testament to the community's shared values. As the sun climbs higher, the market reaches its peak. The faint, rhythmic beat of drums can be heard from a nearby ceremonial space, a constant reminder of the spiritual undercurrent that flows through daily life. The air is thick with the enticing aromas of roasted peanuts and freshly baked cassava bread, mingling with the earthy scent of the forest that surrounds them. The mask maker's presence is one of quiet dignity. He doesn't seek attention or command fear, but he inspires a deep reverence for the patience, skill, and spiritual devotion embedded in each carved face. A group of children gathers near his stall, their eyes wide with wonder. They watch him intently, silently absorbing the timeless lesson of how work, spirit, and community responsibility are woven together into a single, beautiful fabric. Between trades, he tends to his masks with the care of a devoted guardian. He gently dusts them, checks for any imperfections, and ensures that their spiritual essence remains potent and undisturbed. He knows that every transaction sends a ripple through the community and through time. Each mask will become a watchful protector in its new home, a source of wisdom and guidance for the family that honors it. As late afternoon approaches, the energy of the market begins to wane. The masks that were destined for new homes have found them. The mask maker carefully packs his bartered goods, the salt, the cloth. The militant prepares for his journey back to the village. The weight on his shoulder is lighter now, but his heart carries the profound, invisible responsibility of his role. He has engaged in the simplicity of exchange, but he has never disconnected from the sacred. Through his actions, he teaches all who observe that commerce and ritual are not separate worlds, but two parts of the same unbroken whole. The path back through the forest is quieter now. The sinking sun casts long shadows and the air cools. As dusk settles, the market empties and a peaceful silence returns to the forest paths. The mask maker glances up and sees the first stars begin to glimmer through the leaves of the canopy. He pauses one last time, offering a silent acknowledgement to the ancestors. He is grateful for the safety of his journey, for the respect he was shown, and for the continuity of the traditions he is sworn to protect. The journey is complete. The masks now rest in their new homes, ready to begin their work. Commerce has honored culture, and the sacred bond between survival and spiritual duty remains as strong and unbroken as it has for countless generations of Fang artisans. It is a legacy carved not just in wood, but in the very heart of his people. The mask maker's reputation is a living thing, woven through the villages and forests like the vines that cling to ancient trees. It is not proclaimed with banners or loud announcements, but whispered in the quiet corridors of power and the open spaces of the markets. Elders seek him, chiefs summon him, and families request his skill to honor birthdays, funerals, and the rites that mark the turning of seasons. Each mask carries the weight of lineage, a talisman of justice and cohesion. It is the artisan's humility that keeps this prestige sacred, preventing it from ever becoming ostentatious. When a chief requests a mask for the powerful Engil or so ceremonies, the mask maker does not simply begin to create. He consults. Imagine him sitting in a courtyard beneath the sprawling branches of a baobab tree, listening intently. The elder recounts the ancestry, the deeds and misdeeds of generations past, and shares the spiritual needs of the community. The mask maker asks questions with measured care, understanding that every single notch, every curve, and every hollowed eye socket will serve as a bridge, a connection between the living, the departed, and those who are yet to come. This isn't just a commission. It's a spiritual conference. In the quiet of his workshop, the mask maker's hands move with a ritual precision. His chisels and adzes move in rhythm with ancestral songs, hummed softly under his breath. The wood, once a silent part of the forest, slowly bends to his will, revealing faces both solemn and fierce, with eyes wide and all-knowing. Each mask becomes a repository of history, an emblem of power, and a vessel for the unseen. It's a conduit for spirits that are neither malevolent nor benign, but are seen as essential guides to the human world. Their presence is a necessary part of maintaining balance. Families often travel from distant villages, undertaking long journeys to commission masks for ceremonies that demand the highest level of craftsmanship. The mask maker treats these requests not as commercial transactions, but as sacred responsibilities. He understands the weight of what is being asked of him. Before any cutting begins, before the first chip of wood is removed, he performs silent offerings. A bit of palm wine is poured to honor the spirits of the trees from which the wood was taken. Chalk symbols are drawn to mark protection and ensure the work is shielded from negative influences. And whispered prayers are offered to invoke the blessings of the forebears who first taught this ancient art. These rituals, though small and quiet, are profoundly important. They are what distinguish the true craftsman, the one who is in communion with his culture, from a casual artisan simply working with wood. News of his work spreads without any effort on his part. When a mask is completed and carried to a village square for a ceremony, it's a moment of profound significance. Those present do not only see the face of the carving, they feel its presence. A hush falls over the entire gathering. The elders, the keepers of wisdom, nod knowingly. The children, taught from a young age to respect these objects, respectfully avert their gaze. And the chief, the leader of the community, places the mask in the central position of honor. In these moments, the mask maker's reputation is not spoken of aloud, but it is acknowledged silently through these gestures of respect, through murmured approval, and through the careful, precise observance of tradition. The work speaks for itself, and its power is felt by all. Prestige in this culture flows directly from skill, but it finds its anchor in humility. The mask maker never demands praise or seeks recognition. He allows the work to speak for itself. He knows that power without reverence is a dangerous thing. It risks corruption. He understands that a mask made with arrogance or ego cannot effectively channel the ancestors. It would be an empty shell. So, his demeanor is always calm, his eyes watchful, and his hands steady. The people of his community recognize in him the perfect balance between exceptional human skill and unwavering spiritual fidelity. He is a bridge between two worlds, and he carries that responsibility with grace. The mask maker's influence is subtle, but incredibly profound. Through his creations, he shapes not only the visual landscape of the ceremonies, but also the ethical and cultural fabric of the entire community. Chiefs who commission his work rely on these masks for the administration of justice. The masks are used to mediate disputes, to commemorate the lineage of the clan, or to assert an authority that is grounded in ancestral guidance, not just personal power. In this way, the artisan becomes a quiet architect of communal cohesion. His prestige is derived not from ego, but from the sacred trust that the entire community places in his hands. And beyond the ceremonies, these masks become cherished family heirlooms. They travel from one generation to the next, each one bearing the marks of its journey. They might have scars from being handled over decades, patina from the smoke of countless ritual fires, and the faint, sweet scent of camwood used to anoint them. The mask maker's work continues to live and influence the community long after he has stepped back from the carving. Parents will point to the masks hanging in their homes and tell their children, "This face watches over us. It was made by one who honors the ancestors and the earth." Reputation, therefore, is inseparable from legacy. It is the quiet but enduring acknowledgement that the mask maker's craft is what sustains the culture itself. Through the bustling markets, the quiet villages, and the sacred forest clearings, the mask maker's presence is a constant, even if his hands are unseen. People respect him not for wealth or for fame, but for the invisible threads he so skillfully weaves between the past and the present, between the mortal world and the spirit realm. The artisan understands that true honor is ephemeral. It's something that must be earned anew each day, through devotion, through humility, and through the silent, relentless pursuit of perfection in his form. As the sun dips low, casting long shadows across his workshop, the mask maker continues his preparation for the next commission. Each new mask begins as a blank piece of wood, a blank canvas of possibility, and each completed carving finishes a secular cycle of reverence for the materials and spirits, masterful craftsmanship, and the reinforcement of communal identity. Reputation, in this world, is not a title you can hold. It is lived, it is breathed, and it is carried forward in every single ceremonial dance, every market exchange, and every whisper of the forest that surrounds him. By the time twilight finally settles, his workbench is orderly. His tools, the extensions of his hands, and his will are carefully sharpened and aligned, ready for the morning. The day's labors stand as a testament to a life spent in balance. The mask maker steps back, observing the finished masks, as if glimpsing the faces of the ancestors themselves. Prestige, power, and respect flow naturally from the dedication that is so evident in each carving. Yet, he remains humble, knowing that he serves a purpose far greater than himself. He is a guardian of tradition, a channel for the sacred, and a cornerstone of his community. In the quiet of a workshop, under the flickering glow of an oil lamp, a masterpiece takes its final form. A Fang mask, its surface polished to a soft sheen, is not merely an object of wood and pigment. It is the communal face of a people, a sacred vessel that carries the identity of the Fang across time, uniting the living, the unborn, and the ancestral realm. When worn, this mask transcends its physical form, becoming a living bridge between generations, an emblem of shared memory and aspiration. Every curve, every incised line, and every hollowed eye resonates with the spirit of the village that awaits it. The power of these masks lies not in decoration or personal prestige, but in their ability to unify. During the Ingil or So ceremonies, the dancer who wears the mask is no longer an individual. They become a conduit, embodying ancestors, echoing the voices of those long gone. They move with a purpose, guiding the community through ritualized lessons of morality, social cohesion, and respect. Children watch, their eyes wide with wonder, absorbing not just the intricate dance steps, but the profound significance of lineage and harmony. Elders nod with solemn understanding, recognizing in the performance the enduring pulse of their culture, the perpetuation of sacred knowledge passed down through generations. To create a mask that can bear such weight, the artisan must enter a state of deep meditation. He immerses himself in the collective spirit, recalling stories told by the elders, remembering the trials and triumphs of past generations. He listens for the whispers of ancestors who guide his hands, shaping his vision. Each mask is imbued with the community's hopes and fears, its joys and sorrows, its victories and reconciliations. As the artisan carves, he allows the wood itself to speak, revealing its natural lines and rhythms. He trusts that the essence of the tree and the essence of the people will merge, creating a form that is both new and ancient. This communal face also serves as a moral compass. In ceremonies, a mask might represent the unyielding hand of authority, cautioning against transgression and reminding everyone of their duties. Another might embody protection, a fierce guardian warding off harm and unseen evils. It acts as a mirror for the living, reflecting not what they are, but what they ought to be, all while reminding them of the constant, watchful presence of those who came before. Through this dual role, both spiritual and social, the mask solidifies a sacred contract, a pact between the artisan, the ancestors, and the living community. Even in the bustling marketplace, the masks carry a powerful message. They announce a collective identity to the world. Traders, travelers, and visiting dignitaries learn to recognize the subtle signatures of lineage, craft, and spiritual intent embedded in each piece. The artisan's work thus radiates beyond the village, reinforcing a sense of collective pride and belonging. Even when exchanged as goods, the mask remains more than a mere object. It is a symbol of integrity, a testament to a rich heritage, and a powerful statement of unity. It tells the world who the Fang are, not as individuals, but as a people bound by a shared history and spirit. Beyond their physical presence, these masks are repositories of memory. When a ceremonial mask is finally retired from dance and stored in the sacred ancestral house, it does not fall silent. It preserves the echoes of every ritual it has witnessed, the rhythmic beat of drums, the fervent prayers, the communal gatherings. Every ceremonial wear, every chanted invocation leaves an invisible trace upon its surface. The mask maker understands this deeply. In carving these objects, he is not just shaping wood. He is shaping the moral and cultural architecture of his people. His art is the conduit through which history and identity persist, flowing from one generation to the next. The communal face is also a guide through life's great transitions. During rites of passage, masks mark the profound journey from childhood to adulthood, from one social role to another. They guide initiates, instilling in them the knowledge of customs, the weight of responsibilities, and the sacred laws that govern the social order. Every line and symbol carved into the mask's surface encodes a teaching, a piece of wisdom. So, even if words are forgotten over time, the knowledge endures through the power of ritual performance. In this way, the artisan's work ensures the continuity and cohesion of the entire community, weaving the past into the fabric of the present. The very act of carving is itself a communal ritual. Young apprentices observe in reverent silence, absorbing not just the technique of the blade, but the philosophy and rhythm that govern the sacred space of the workshop. Villagers might pause at the threshold, watching with respectful understanding, knowing that this creation is both a practical craft and a sacred act. The mask maker is acutely aware of every gaze, every unspoken expectation, and every silent prayer. He moves with deliberation, letting each motion of his hands honor the immense weight of communal trust placed upon him. Through these powerful masks, the community negotiates its relationship with the unseen world. Spirit and matter converge in the polished wood and painted surfaces. They guide social behavior, reinforce ethical principles, and even mediate disputes. It is not uncommon for a mask to be called upon to witness sacred oaths, to help reconcile conflicts between families, or to bless the fields for a bountiful harvest. In all these instances, the mask embodies the collective consciousness, serving as a powerful reminder that every individual action resonates far beyond oneself, impacting the entire community, both seen and unseen. At the close of the day, when the dancers finally rest and the ceremonial fires dim to embers, the masks are returned to their sacred resting places. They no longer dance, yet their potency remains, palpable in the quiet air. Villagers might approach them to touch a surface lightly, offer a small prayer, or whisper words of thanks for their guidance and protection. The mask maker carefully cleans his tools, wipes the sweat from his brow, and contemplates the ancient cycle he has helped sustain. For him, prestige, reputation, and skill are only meaningful when they serve the greater good. The communal face is both a profound gift and a solemn responsibility, a living testament to the enduring spirit of the Fang people. The work of the mask maker ensures that each new generation inherits more than just a collection of physical objects. They inherit the memory, the values, and the spiritual guidance embedded within the very grain of the wood. The communal face reminds all who see it that art is not created merely for beauty's sake, but for the vital purpose of sustaining identity, morality, and connection. It is a silent teacher, a steadfast guardian of tradition, and a perfect reflection of collective life, living and breathing in every carved line, every painted detail, and every shadow cast by the flickering firelight of the ancestral house. And so, the mask maker's art completes a sacred circle. It begins with the roots of a tree in the forest and ends at the very center of the village. It transforms wood into spirit, and the work of individual hands into the collective consciousness of a people. Through each and every carving, the communal face carries forward the heart and soul of the Fang, a symbol that is both timeless and deeply rooted in the ever-turning, vibrant life of the community. In the quiet of a workshop, where morning light slices through the air, an old Fang mask maker holds an adze. He runs a careful finger along its sharpened edge. This isn't just a tool. It's a connection, a bridge, carrying the wisdom of generations, the patience of creators, and the memory of ancestors. It holds a rhythm, waiting for the right hands to bring it to life. This is the story of apprenticeship, of passing a sacred flame in a world that is quickly changing. Around him, young apprentices gather. Their eyes are wide, a mix of awe and a little fear. They're here to learn more than just how to cut wood. They're here to learn the sacred pulse of creation. Today, like every day in this workshop, they will learn when to strike, when to pause, when to offer a prayer, and most importantly, when to simply listen to the whisper of the wood itself. Each tool has its own voice, a song that only a patient and attentive ear can hear. The master begins. He lifts the adze, and with a measured, deliberate strike, it meets a block of soft camwood. The sound rings out, a steady heartbeat in the quiet space. It's a call to begin. One by one, the apprentices follow his lead. The elder guides their hands, not just showing them the angle and the force, but teaching them to feel the connection, to respect the material they are shaping. With every stroke of the adze, they are not just carving wood. They are tapping into a rhythm that has pulsed through this community for centuries. They are joining a long line of smiths and carvers who turned simple wood into sacred living forms. Respect is the foundation of everything here. It's taught in quiet gestures more than in loud words. Before an apprentice touches a tool, they bow their head. Before they make the first cut, they offer a silent word of thanks to the ancestors who walked this path before them. The workshop is a sanctuary, a place where concentration is a form of prayer and focus is a sacred act. They learn quickly that rushing or bringing the noise of the outside world in can damage more than just the piece of wood. It can harm the spirit that they are trying to invite into their creation. The process, the ritual of learning, is just as important as the finished mask. The master's voice is low and calm when he speaks. He doesn't just give instructions, he shares stories. He tells them of masks that danced in the Engil ceremonies, powerful masks that could reveal hidden truths and restore balance. He speaks of spirits that were awakened and calmed by the carver's hand, of entire communities that were healed and guided by the faces they created. Every story is a lesson, a reminder that this craft is tied to a deep cultural and ethical responsibility. An apprentice understands that creating a mask is not about art for art's sake. It's about serving the community, about shouldering a spiritual duty. These lessons sink in slowly, like rain into dry earth. The apprentices begin to see that skill without respect is an empty vessel. Woven into every lesson are prayer and ritual. They are the invisible threads that hold the entire craft together. Before a carving session begins, the master whispers an invocation, his words soft but firm. He calls upon the ancestral spirits to guide their hands, to protect the community, and to bless their work. To an outsider, these might seem like small, insignificant moments. But for the apprentices, these are the moments that anchor their work in the spiritual world of the Fang people. They learn to feel the sacred in the mundane, to blend reverence with rhythm. They come to understand that what they are creating is both tangible and intangible, a physical object that is also a spiritual presence. Patience is the great, silent teacher in this workshop. It is everywhere. Some apprentices find the rhythm quickly. Their hands seem to know the curves of the adze and the feel of the camwood almost instinctively. Others struggle. Their cuts are too deep or too shallow. They fight the wood instead of working with it. The master watches them all, his gaze steady and without judgment. He knows that true mastery isn't a gift. It's earned over years of practice through countless mistakes. He knows that a mistake, when met with guidance and reflection, is one of the most powerful teachers. The workshop becomes a space of gentle discipline, where the growth of the apprentice mirrors the slow, careful shaping of the wood. As the day unfolds, the apprentices move between different stations. They practice with chisels, perfecting fine details. They work with knives, learning the art of the subtle curve. They return to the arts, strengthening their feel for the foundational rhythm. Each exercise is designed to build not just their skill, but their mindfulness. The master punctuates their work with more stories, with moments of quiet meditation, or simply with periods of silent observation. The rhythm of the workshop begins to mirror the rhythm of the world just outside its walls, the whisper of leaves in the wind, the distant call of a bird, the slow, steady dance of sunlight across the floor. These are the sounds that become the soundtrack to their creation, the living pulse of craft and contemplation. This apprenticeship is more than just learning a trade. It's a rite of passage. It's a journey. Every young person who stays, who endures the long hours and the discipline, will carry forward more than just the ability to carve a mask. They will carry the ethical codes, the spiritual knowledge, and the ancestral stories that bind the Fang people together. The master knows that not everyone who starts this journey will finish it. In our fast-paced, modern world, the path of patience and devotion is a difficult one. But he also knows that the few who do persevere are enough. They are the seeds that will ensure this sacred art survives, pure and vibrant, in the perfect harmony of hand, mind, and spirit. As evening approaches, a quiet calm settles over the workshop. The apprentices stop their work. They carefully clean their tools, wiping away the day's dust, and place them back in their designated spots. They sweep the wood shavings from the floor and once again offer a quiet word of thanks to the spirits that guided their hands. The master observes this closing ritual, a look of quiet satisfaction on his face. He can see that the day's lessons have been absorbed, not just in their hands, but in their hearts. They are learning that a blade is more than a tool. It is a teacher, it is a vessel, and it is a symbol of continuity, of a promise kept to the ancestors. Through this timeless ritual of passing the blade from elder to youth, the Fang mask maker ensures that the sacred art will not be lost. When the apprentices leave the workshop, they carry with them not only a growing skill, but the very rhythm of creation. They carry the balance of respect and the profound awareness that each mask they will one day create is a living bridge, connecting the past to the future. It is in these quiet moments of teaching, in the deliberate, rhythmic movements of carving, and in the whispered prayers that a lineage persists, ready and able to shape the face of a community for all the generations yet to come. The afternoon sun filters through the open walls of the workshop, casting long shadows across the carved masks that line the shelves. Each one bears the marks of patient hands, the songs of ancestors, and the quiet wisdom of generations. They are more than wood. They are living histories. Yet, far beyond this forest, beyond these villages, the gaze of the wider world has begun to fall upon these sacred creations. In distant cities, collectors, scholars, and museum curators speak in hushed, reverent tones about what they call primal art. They admire the form, the lines, the raw power they see, often unaware of the intricate rituals, the deep responsibilities, and the very spirits that inhabit every single carving. The Fang mask maker, the guardian of this tradition, is no stranger to these visitors. They have been coming for a long time. Some arrive with a genuine, respectful curiosity, seeking to understand the immense cultural weight embedded in each face. They listen, they observe, and they learn. But others arrive with paper and coin, their interest measured not in awe, but in acquisition. And so the masks, once vessels of spiritual guidance and social cohesion, begin a long journey. They travel across oceans to be displayed under the bright, sterile lights of galleries, stripped of the ceremonies, the songs, and the communal context that first gave them life. The elder observes this slow, steady intrusion with a complex mix of pride, caution, and sorrow. He knows that admiration in itself is not harmful. It's a bridge between cultures. Yet, he also senses the subtle erosion of meaning that occurs when a sacred mask becomes just an object. A beautiful artifact divorced from its community and the rituals that breathe life into it. In his youth, he saw it firsthand. He witnessed travelers from Europe purchasing ceremonial masks, not for ritual, but for display in faraway cities. The masks were praised for their form, their striking symmetry, and their power of expression. But the ancestral spirits they were meant to embody remained behind, silent and unacknowledged, here in the forest and in the villages. These collectors and anthropologists often arrive searching for something they call authentic, something exotic, something untouched by the modern world. But in their quest, they often fail to perceive the living, breathing continuity of the practice. They don't see that these masks are not static objects to be catalogued and filed away. They are active participants in the social and spiritual life of the community. Each face carved, each ritual performed, is part of an ongoing dialogue or conversation between the living and the dead. the visible and the invisible. It's a conversation that simply cannot be replicated on a gallery wall. The elder sighs softly. He knows the masks will inspire awe wherever they go, but he also knows they will lose the cadence of life, the spiritual pulse that beats so strongly here at home. He often recounts the stories of masks that were taken from villages decades ago. He describes how they crossed the vast Atlantic Ocean, packed away in dark crates, handled by hands that knew nothing of ritual, of respect, of the sacred. He explains how their essence, though perfectly preserved in their physical form, was severed from the community's heartbeat. These journeys, while saving the masks from physical decay, also carried the immense weight of displacement and loss. For the maker, for the community, a mask is never just a product to be sold. It is a covenant, a sacred bond between generations, a protector and a mediator. To see it removed from its home, from its context, is to witness a subtle but deep fracture in that bond. Yet, not all foreign eyes are indifferent or acquisitive. Some truly seek understanding. They want to learn the songs, the dances, the specific timing of the ceremonies, and the moral codes that are embedded in every single carving. The elder, though cautious, is also hopeful when he meets these individuals. He shares his knowledge, but selectively, he demonstrates the craft. He narrates the stories. He allows the respectful visitor to witness the rituals, but never to appropriate them. Knowledge, he teaches, is sacred. It cannot be reduced to a souvenir you pick up on vacation, or a glossy image in a book. The rhythm of the dance, the cadence of the invocation, the offerings made to the spirits, these things cannot travel in a suitcase. They must be experienced, lived, and understood with the heart, not just the eyes. And here lies the tension. The market for these masks abroad continues to grow, and with that growth comes temptation for local artisans and their families. It's a difficult reality. Some masks are now crafted specifically for sale. Beautiful pieces that are distinct from the ceremonial ones, their purpose solely aesthetic. Others are requested directly for export, and the master carver must carefully weigh the economic need of his community against his profound spiritual responsibility. Every decision is fraught with complexity, demanding sharp discernment and careful negotiation. The mask maker's role is not just to carve, but to protect the lineage, the ethics of the craft, and the sacred presence that dwells within each work. When traveling to international fairs, exhibitions, and museums, the Fang mask maker often finds himself wondering about the journey of his creations. How will foreign observers perceive them? Will they look at a mask and recognize the careful incantations that were sung to awaken the spirit within the wood? Will they be able to sense the stories of ancestors that were whispered into each line, each curve? Sometimes he imagines the masks trying to speak across the ocean, trying to remind their viewers that they are not just art, they are living vessels, forever bound to ceremonies, to seasons, and to communities living and breathing in a world far removed from these sterile gallery halls. Even as he navigates this complex, modern terrain, the elder continues his work at home. The forest remains his sanctuary. The ceremonial fires still burn bright, the apprentices still learn at his side, and the masks are still shaped, blessed, and danced into life. He teaches the younger generation not only the intricate techniques of carving, but also the discernment required when facing those foreign eyes, how to honor genuine curiosity while safeguarding the sacred essence of their tradition. He knows that, for every mask exported, another must be preserved, for ritual, ensuring the living spirit of their culture remains right here in the village. By dusk, as the last mask rests on the workbench and the apprentices have left for the evening, the elder sits in the quiet. He reflects on the global eyes that watch his work from so far away. He understands that the world's fascination brings with it a certain kind of recognition, even preservation. Yet he also knows that the ultimate responsibility lies with him, with his community, to maintain the sacred rhythm of their traditions. His hands, guided by a lineage stretching back through time, keep the dance of the spirits alive, even as some of the masks themselves travel across oceans. The tension between admiration and appropriation is very real, but through careful, conscious stewardship, he ensures that Fang masks will endure as both world-renowned art and as a living, sacred covenant. The masks have left the forest before, and they will leave again. That is the new reality. But the sacred knowledge, the rhythm of the fire, the power of the prayers, the melody of the ceremonial songs that remains rooted here. It is carried in the hands that carve, in the eyes that see, and in the memory of those who understand that art is never, ever separate from life. Global eyes may admire the form, but it is the elder, the community, and the apprentices who safeguard its living essence, ensuring that these masks continue to breathe, to guide, and to unite their people for generations to come. As the sun dips behind the forest canopy, its last golden rays filter through the leaves, painting the trunks of ancient camwood trees. Here, in the heart of Gabon, an elder mask maker watches the younger generation. The apprentices, who once held their tools with hesitation, now move with a fluid confidence. Their chisels strike the wood with a deliberate, rhythmic pulse, a sound that echoes with the memory of ancestors, the teachings of their master, and the sacred songs whispered into the workshop air. This isn't just carving, it's a conversation with history. This artistry isn't confined to the deep forest. In towns and villages across Gabon, a powerful revival is taking place. Modern artists are breathing new life into traditional Fang motifs, weaving them into vibrant festivals, performances, and gallery exhibitions. The Nabazga Festival, for example, once a local gathering steeped in lineage and ritual, now draws visitors from all over the region. It's a celebration of ancestral art's enduring power, where masks crafted with deep reverence are displayed alongside contemporary pieces. It's a beautiful bridge between generations, a reminder to all who witness it that the spirit of the forest and the lineage of the Fang people remain unbroken and alive. The elder observes this continuity with a quiet, deep satisfaction. He knows that while the glare of global attention can be fleeting, sometimes even missing the point, the true heartbeat of this craft is the local community. It's in the wide eyes of children who watch, listen, and then imitate, their small hands learning the weight of the chisel and the gentle pressure of the adze. It's in the workshops, humming with activity, filled with the rich scent of freshly cut wood, the sharp tang of resin, and the low, resonant hum of ancestral songs. This is where the real work of preservation happens, day in and day out. Art is never static. It must breathe, evolve, and grow, all while remaining firmly anchored in its traditions. Masks that were once seen exclusively in sacred initiation ceremonies now grace the walls of modern gallery spaces and cultural showcases around the world. Yet, the core principles guiding their creation remain unchanged. The elder often emphasizes that every single mask, no matter where it is displayed, carries with it a profound responsibility, a duty to the ancestors who came before, to the community it represents, and to the continuity of knowledge for generations to come. Each carving is a meditation on lineage and a physical bridge connecting the past to the living present. In the bustling urban centers, you can see this evolution in exciting new forms. Some artists are integrating classic Fang designs into contemporary sculptures, large-scale murals, and even avant-garde performance art. This fusion doesn't dilute the sacredness of the traditional masks. Instead, it extends their influence, ensuring that the powerful aesthetics and philosophies of the Fang can reach new audiences. People who may never have the chance to set foot in a remote forest clearing. The elder watches these developments with a cautious pride, always reminding his apprentices that innovation is only welcome when it is grounded in a deep understanding and profound respect for the source. The patient work of teaching the apprentices continues day after day, as does the quiet, almost ceremonial act of carving. Every strike of the chisel, every careful sanding of a curve, is both a technical exercise and a spiritual practice. The elders ensure that the crucial lessons of ritual, responsibility, and patience are passed down right alongside the physical artistry. So, even as some masks travel to far-off exhibitions, the village holds its most sacred pieces close, carefully balancing the need for preservation with the spirit of innovation. They are the guardians of a delicate, living tradition. Visitors who are fortunate enough to attend these workshops and festivals often speak of the palpable energy in the air. You can see it in the focused intensity of the young mask maker's hands, hear it in the rhythmic songs that echo through the forest, and feel the immense weight of history in each meticulously carved face. Here, the dance of continuity unfolds not as a static, dusty ritual from a history book, but as a living, breathing heritage that adapts and flexes without ever breaking its sacred connection to the roots from which it grew. It's a powerful testament to the resilience of culture. In the quiet, reflective moments of the workshop, the elder often thinks about the passage of time. He has guided so many hands, sung the ancient songs, offered libations to the spirits, and preserved secrets passed down through countless generations. Now, he sees the fruits of his lifelong guidance reflected in the eyes of the young artists who will carry this craft forward. He sees that they are not simply imitating his movements, they are internalizing the spirit of the work, interpreting it through their own experiences and extending the lineage into the future. Each mask they create is a vessel of memory, a beacon of identity, and a powerful reminder that the gaze of the ancestors is ever present, watching over them even as the world changes. The interplay between tradition and modernity, between local fidelity and global visibility, is a delicate one. It's a tightrope walk that is sustained only through the vigilance, dedication, and profound wisdom of those who understand that the true essence of Fang art is unfound in the objects alone. It's in the life they carry, the rituals they uphold, and the communities they serve. These masks continue to sing their songs to guide the people, and to remind all who witness them that culture is not something to be merely observed from a distance, it is something to be lived every single day. As twilight deepens and the air cools, the elder sets down his chisel and surveys the workshop one last time. Each mask rests in its designated place. Some are bound for solemn ceremony, others are destined for a gallery wall or a festival stage, but all of them are imbued with layers of meaning. The apprentices leave quietly, their minds and spirits full, carrying the lessons of the day, lessons of wood and spirit, of fire and patience. Beyond the workshop, the forest waits, silent yet vigilant, bearing witness to the unbroken continuity of craft, belief, and lineage. Through these timeless acts, the careful teaching, the mindful carving, and the profound respect for tradition, alongside modern presentation, the Fang mask maker ensures that the art of their people not only survives, but thrives. Global eyes may watch, collectors may covet, and exhibitions may spread their fame far and wide. But the true heartbeat of the craft remains here, local, ancestral, and vibrantly alive. The past is in constant conversation with the present, and the present is making sure that the future will continue to listen. The night has settled fully over the dense forests of Gabon. Shadows of camwood and iroko trees stretch long under the soft glow of the moon, and the rhythmic chirping of cicadas punctuates the hush. In the workshop, now emptied of apprentices and visitors, the Fang mask maker sits before a small fire. The embers glow like quiet eyes, reflecting the flickering forms of masks lined carefully along the walls. Each face, carved with devotion, carries a story, a history of spirits, ancestors, and human hands learning patience, precision, and reverence. He leans back slightly, feeling the worn wood of his chair beneath him, and inhales the earthy scent of the forest mingled with the faint aroma of camwood dust. It is a familiar fragrance, one that has accompanied him through decades of labor, ritual, and reflection. His hands, gnarled yet steady, rest lightly on his knees, remembering the countless strokes that transformed living trees into masks that hold the eyes of generations. These hands have carried not only the skill of carving, but the weight of responsibility to honor ancestors, to serve the community, and to protect the delicate thread connecting the living to the unseen. The night air carries a gentle breeze, rustling leaves and whispering through the forest like a murmured prayer. The mask maker listens intently. He knows that the forest, in its vast patience, observes all that transpires within its shadow. Every strike of the chisel, every measured sanding of curves, every blessing whispered into the wood has been witnessed and recorded in a memory older than any human life. The masks, though silent, are alive with that memory. They breathe the stories of initiation, of ceremony, and of communal identity. As he stokes the embers with a small stick, a soft smile crosses his face. He recalls the apprentices of the day, their hesitant hands now more confident, their eyes reflecting understanding. He recalls the rhythmic song that accompanied the sharpening of amethyst, the hushed offerings of palm wine to the spirits, and the laughter and reverence mingled in the market where masks exchanged hands for salt, cloth, and millet. Each moment, ordinary or ceremonial, has been a thread woven into the fabric of Fang life, a testament to the enduring connection between craft, culture, and consciousness. He reflects upon the masks destined for festivals and galleries. Symbols now extending beyond the forest, yet rooted in the same spiritual soil. Even as global observers gaze with admiration, sometimes with ignorance, the core remains untouched. Creation is sacred, and the mask is never merely an object. It is a vessel, a voice, a witness. In the interplay between tradition and modernity, the mask maker recognizes his role not as a simple artisan, but as poet, priest, and historian. Each carving preserves knowledge, transmits values, and sustains the continuity of identity. Outside, the sounds of the forest pulse softly. Crickets and frogs join the distant murmurs of nocturnal creatures, and for a moment the mask maker closes his eyes. He feels the presence of ancestors in the quiet rhythm of the night, a comforting certainty that the work, though exhausting and delicate, is part of a larger cycle. Every mask completed, every lesson imparted, every ceremony honored is a declaration that culture, faith, and artistry endure when nurtured with care. He rises slowly and walks to the doorway, feeling the cool night air against his skin. The stars above scatter across the firmament, each one a silent witness to the passage of time. He lifts his gaze, eyes tracing constellations that have guided generations of Fang people. In this vastness, he offers thanks to the forest that provides the wood, to the ancestors who imbue it with spirit, and to the youth who will carry the torch forward. The fire crackles behind him, a gentle heartbeat echoing in the stillness. As the evening deepens, he returns to his seat, the masks watching in solemn assembly. He picks up a small, unfinished carving, feeling its potential, its waiting essence. And in the quiet, he whispers a prayer of gratitude for life, for lineage, for craft, and for the wisdom to continue. The night stretches around him, enveloping the workshop, the forest, and the river beyond, carrying his whispered thanks into the unseen realms where spirits and ancestors dwell. The mask maker leans back once more, a lifetime of labor and devotion reflected in his eyes. Though time moves forward and the world changes, he knows the essential truths remain: patience, reverence, and faith. Every mask is a dialogue, every strike of the chisel a word in a language that binds past, present, and future. In this sacred continuity, the Fang people endure, and their artistry lives on, not merely as objects admired, but as a living heritage, vibrant and unbroken. And so, under the gentle canopy of night and stars, the master of masks rests. His eyes linger on the firelight, flickering across carved faces, each one a testament to human creativity, devotion, and the invisible hand of the ancestors. The forest hums softly, the world outside continues its ceaseless motion. Yet here, in this quiet workshop, time bends, honoring the mask maker's devotion, the sacred lineage, and the enduring pulse of Fang culture. You are under baobab skies,